And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's emergency live stream, please do smash the old like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Yes, to be fair, not what the sort of video I was expecting to make on a Wednesday evening, guys. As you can read there in the title, it is no BS, it's not speculation as such. We are going to be discussing that headline, as it does seem as though Premier League clubs are set to vote on whether VAR is set to be abolished from the Premier League in a shock reveal, guys. This is not speculation. This is not crap from the Daily Mirror or the Sun. This is coming from some very, very reputable journalists, and probably I'd go as far to say probably one of the most reputable journalists within the United Kingdom, that being, of course, David Ornstein. We will discuss that whilst also going over all the latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours in this kind of emergency live stream. There has been a few bits and pieces that has come out in the last 6 hours since our last video went out, and yesterday we basically confirmed to you that it did seem as though Pep Lijnders was going to be getting a job in first team management, and that does look like it's going to be the case, as Liverpool announced, and so did RB Salzburg announced, that Pep Lijnders would be taking the role up of RB Salzburg manager in the Austrian Bundesliga. Will of course have his work cut out, as you know, RB Salzburg actually just won 10 in a row last season, but actually are sitting second in the league going into the final game of the campaign, so could lose the title for the first time in 10 years, which is huge. So yeah, that was a bit of breaking news from earlier today with regards to Pep Lijnders, as he's got his job confirmed as the whole hierarchy shake-up mixes up. But let's get to this one, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to this one, the main story of today, and that is that VAR could be abolished from the Premier League. Yes, a very, very interesting story indeed. And as stated on a Wednesday evening, wasn't expecting to make this. Look, VAR has been in the Premier League now for 4 or 5 seasons and hasn't really gone swimmingly well. Let's be perfectly honest. It's not gone well at this moment in time. And a lot of fans and a lot of supporters have, and clubs, players alike, have been frustrated by the way that VAR has been operated over the last 5 years, 5-6 years, that it has been in operation. Of course, Liverpool ourselves, there was a stat read out, I think, earlier on in the campaign, or earlier this year certainly, that we were the club with the most things, or the most decisions going against us due to VAR. And as stated, every club has had their fair share of things that have went against them. And now David Ornstein, as I said, of The Athletic. Guys, this isn't some journalist from The Sun or the Daily Mirror or these kind of things. He's, of course, from The Athletic, and is a very, very, very reputable journalist when it comes to the English Premier League and English football in general. And he said this evening that, moments ago in fact, Premier League clubs are to vote on the proposal to scrap VAR from next season. The resolution was formally submitted by Wolverhampton Wanderers to abolish the system, and it will now be on the agenda for June the 6th AGM. Now, any rule to go forward, or any new rule that goes forward, needs to, of course, have 2/3 of the majority 20 members. So that's 14 out of 20 members needs to vote on this rule change. If that happens, VAR could be scrapped going into the next season. Now, I just want to know what you guys are thinking in this live chat. I want to know, if you're watching on a replay, what you think with regards to it. Do you think VAR should be abolished? Just in the early days of this poll at this moment in time, 73% of you are saying yes. And I want to know why down there in the comments. I'm going to read a few comments out before I give you my opinion. Cool Locker says VAR is not the problem, it's the officials. Terence Governor says VAR must go. Joe says VAR is good. Nentum says, I'll get to that soon. Nathan says, I hate the VAR because it takes ages for the game to, which it is a goal or not. The 77 says, bad idea. VAR should stay, but there needs to be a ref input. Angel 1968 says, scrapping VAR with our terrible on-field referees would be a disaster. disaster. Now, I do stand in the middle of this. Look, I have hated VAR due to, I just suppose it does get things a bit messed up. I do like the natural act of a refereeing, and when it came in, it was the idea of if it's clear and obvious a mistake, then of course it will be overturned, which I like that mantra. However, I just feel the Premier League with these minute lines that are being drawn in, that takes the joy away from the game. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't mind how the Champions League operates VAR. I've actually been watching Champions League games, and the way that they do VAR, it feels a lot more different. It doesn't feel like the game takes ages to referee. It doesn't feel like it takes ages for decisions to get to there, and I just genuinely don't think it's much of a problem. And to be fair, I am a fan of other leagues, and I've seen other leagues and the way that they operate it, but my goodness me, the Premier League is up there with the worst in terms of its operation. You know, we're getting 10 minutes stoppage time at the end of games, we're getting all these kind of things. It takes ages, it just takes the joy out of it. So I can understand why people and fans and players and managers are frustrated with it and want some decisions to go against it, but I don't think we should scrap VAR entirely. I just think we should scrap the kind of mantra that goes around it. I cannot be bothered with the fact when, real clear penalties and you don't get it. I remember how sick I would feel back in the day when those kind of things happened, when you had a clear penalty and the referee didn't give it. But then again, nowadays we're seeing clear penalties, but then VAR going there and VAR not intervening. So I can see the good and the bad. I just do generally believe the officials aren't that great as well. I think everything needs to be, revamped, and things need to be checked in without necessarily scrapping VAR, in my personal opinion. Again, I don't mind the idea of VAR in terms of what it does and what it does. And what it's there for, but just the way that the Premier League has interpreted it over the last 4 or 5 years, it has genuinely been a bit of a disgrace. So again, I'm not for scrapping it entirely, just to clarify, but I would have a look at it, reassess it, and come up with decisions on ways where we can have it more refereed by humans, and then, try and find a way to sort these teething issues out. Tony Hoare says, get my automatic offside lines also used as a tool to achieve the right decision. The ref boys club don't like they're correcting their mates. Not just VAR, the PGML needs to be as well. Job for the boys. Simon Page says, linesmen need to do the job they're supposed to do instead of waiting for the ref to make the decision. If they're offside, put the flag up. Again, that's what we need to try and do. VAR should not be there to try and get these minute lines into place. I don't think it was there to brought in to do that as such. I think it just helps out with clear and obvious mistakes, and linesmen should be the ones making the decisions, unless of course it's an absolute farce with regards to it. But when it comes down to a millimetre, I don't want that. So it's an interesting one, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens on June 6th, what the majority of clubs vote. But we do need 2/3. We need 2/3 of a decision for it to be swayed. So we'll have to find out with regards to that. But it does seem as though a vote is going to take place, and there could be a realistic season, or going into next season, there could be a realistic problem going into next season that we may not have VAR in place. And I want to know what you guys think down there in the old comments section below. So yeah, as stated, not really... I wasn't really expecting to be doing a video like this, but it has now blown up across the internet, and everybody is jumping on the bandwagon. But yeah, let's know what the Liverpool fans think down there in the comment section below, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know what you all think. Thank you.